Hello, hi. Welcome to the Story of the Scaling Up podcast. I really appreciate you joining us today. As I mentioned to you, we're chatting with CEOs, founders, business leaders of companies that successfully scaling up. It centers around your entrepreneurial journey so far and the aspirations of your company. Today, we're speaking to Helder Klemp, and welcome. So, Helder, can I ask, what do you do and what does your company do?
First, thanks for having me here today. It's a pleasure. I was told you that I'm really keen to always share experience as well. That's what I believe. Help the community and learn from the community as well. So my name is Helder Klemp. I am from Brazil. That's why my funny accent. Okay, but bear with me. I am CEO and co-founder of DNX Solutions in Sydney, Australia. DNX Solutions is a cloud consulting company. Okay, and we are AWS partners on this cloud native digital modernization era that is here in Australia. We also have DNX Brazil for the Latin market as well. And also we recently launched our first size product that is called Citadel. That is a high security and compliance AWS infrastructure product. So that's basically where I am right now. So managing multiple fronts.
And so, Helder, you've been going for how long? I think you launched in 2019.
Yes. It's three years going to the fourth year of operations. And without any previous business experience. So my business partner and I, we decided to go. Let's quit. Let's get into the startup idea and let's make it happen. So from 3 years.
That's interesting. You started just before the pandemic.
Just before the pandemic, yes.
You're scaled significantly. How many staff do you have now?
So 60. So around 60. Yes.
That's an extraordinary growth from way to go, because of course all the complexity comes from in businesses, in my experience, comes from having staff. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So who would be your I was going to say best client, but who's the perfect fit for you and the company?
Sure. I think we do cloud native cloud modernizations. So sounds complex, but basically we assist companies in Australia to get the most of the cloud experience. So cost reduction, improvements on security, compliance, and performance. That's basically what we do. So we have been working a lot with scale ups in Australia. So assisting these customers to get into the next level, assisting customers to get not only on the Australian market, but in the UK, in the America, and the US market. So these are normally the sweet spot for us. A company that knows that technology is the core business, and they are leveraging cloud to expand the offers to the end customers. So that's basically, we think that is our best bet when it comes to customers. So digital native business, let's put it that way.
Okay. And so your target customer, they'll know what a digital native business is?
They know. They were born in the cloud. Okay. They were born on the cloud. They build digital products, and they understand how to scale up and down from the engineering and from the technology as well. So and we have several companies like that here in Australia as well. So these are the best fit for us. But we also modernize regular business into these clouds, right? So we migrate several business from on-premise to AWS. And by migrating, we try to modernize the IT platform as well to get the most of the technology as well. So we are talking about cost reductions. Again, we are talking about improvements on security, because these are the areas that business owners are more concerned. right? Keeping the IT cost under control and don't be too exposed.
And you just mentioned AWS, so Amazon Web Services. Is that a big part of your business?
Yeah, exactly. So we are partners. We are advanced partners on AWS. So AWS is the biggest cloud provider in the world. So AWS has the biggest market share, followed by Azure and followed by Google. And we are advanced partners for AWS only. We really believe into this relationship. So AWS and DNX have a great partnership, and we go together to customers. We go to marketing campaigns together. So we work together in every stage of the business. Okay. So
if someone listening to us had a my terminology storefront, they could come to you and say, I want to explore the whole AWS universe, and you could help them do that?
Oh, sure. And that's basically my role into the company. So I'm CEO of the business and head of sales. Okay. And so normally I have this kind of conversations with stakeholders from the customer. So CEOs, CFOs, CTOs as well, and try to understand the business value as well. We need to extract the business value and try to understand why we are doing this. So because we need to explain for the stakeholders. So that's a lot of what I do. So understanding the challenge and then extracting the business value and create a business case to make it happen. Okay, to customers.
So thank you for that. So let's talk a bit about the pandemic. You've grown dramatically through the pandemic. What are some of the strategies you've used or execution elements you've used through the pandemic that will remain in your business going forward?
I know that's quite a good question. I have to disclosure. I had our biggest customer is the biggest healthcare in Australia, and they have a great presence in the US. Right at that time, I received a call like mid-Feb. I received a call from the VP from this customer, and he said to me, "Hey, Elder, prepare. This COVID would be something big." So in Feb, and then we have the big wave here, I think after May or March, May. So after that call, we started like cut costs, of course, right? But we were already remote first. So most of the guys and girls were working remotely already. We have a distributed team in Adelaide, in Brisbane, in Melbourne, even though we have an office here in Sydney. So at that time, that wasn't a big impact working from home because most of the guys were working 1, 2 days, 3 days. We cut costs. Okay. We during the management meetings, we decided that we are not going to lay off anyone. We will keep everyone. I think that was the strategic direction, even though it was a crisis on the economic side, but we decided to not fire anyone. And I was working sales, right? So I basically got the approval from my peers, say, hey, I will oversell. I will hit the market and sell like never happened. So, and then I started to sell, even though that caused some issues on the delivery, but we were concerned at that time. And we worked with AWS closely, and AWS was really concerned as well and say, hey, Alder, let's go together. And then they brought more leads as well. So basically what started happening was we started growing a lot during the COVID because most of the companies were forced to move to the cloud and do the digital transformation as well. So that's basically increased the sales a lot from us. And we managed to grow. We doubled the size on the revenue and also the people during the COVID basically, and double again last year. Okay.
Right. So what strategies that you put in place are you continuing? You're still working on that?
is still working remotely. I think that is a no-brainer for us. We have 3 offices. We have 1 office in Sydney, 1 in Queensland, and 1 in Melbourne. But people go when they want. We normally have a monthly meeting in Sydney, and basically everyone flies into Sydney to have this. So remote work and flexibility about remote work and how to work in an asynchronous way. I think that was quite good. Instead of only having face-to-face meetings or calls, we start learning more on the asynchronous as well. We start to hire offshore as well because we had a talent problem in Australia. Most of the business, they can't get and can't hire anyone. So we start hiring offshore as well. But we're still doing that. That was good. And run the business in a more lean way as well, like focus more on profitability and keep the profitability and then operational expenses under control as well. I think we start looking more into that recently, and we're still doing that, of course.
Okay, thank you. So what does the future look like? And what do you see as the main challenges going forward?
That's a great question. So we have been growing like 3 years old. We see ourselves as a startup yet, right? So we have been doubling the size on revenue every year because that's easy because it's a small number, right? And also doubling the size of people. These metrics are great.
Yeah.
These metrics are okay, but what's the metric that we are really looking forward now is profitability. So how to really increase profitability, how to be more efficient. So what's the next for my business is basically run a more profitable business. Okay, so that is the focus on this next financial year. So my CFO, my CTO, my management team, we are all working together across the business to improve profitability as well.
Okay, thank you. What's been your biggest learning as a business owner?
Cash flow. Yeah. in the beginning, and learning that people normally business they do pay on time, but some business they don't, and we have to adjust cash flow. So cash flow was in the beginning the massive learning, and they have to create ways to make the business work on the cash flow. Today is not a problem anymore, but that was the biggest burnout, like cash flow, because that brings stress. But yeah, that was the main thing.
Yeah, it's amazing how many CEOs and founders find that significant growth sucks cash and don't have the strategies in place in advance to manage that. It's a hurdle that you're not the only one that's running into. Yeah.
And we are bootstrapped, right? So no external investors. And now we have a CFO, and now we have budgeting. So we put tools in place to allow us having a really good figure on the financials. So yeah, today is not a problem.
Excellent. So when you think of the word successful, who's the first person that comes to mind and why?
That's a good question. I would go for Tim Cook from Apple. I like him. And be the next CEO from Apple after Steve Jobs is not an easy role. And he keep pushing Apple to like delivering new products and scaling the business. Yeah, that's the name on my mind, at least.
Yeah, it's interesting. Steve Jobs is one of those people I quote a lot to my clients. One of those cracker quotes of his was he was as proud, if not more proud, of what they didn't do as what they did do. In other words, being able to say no is one of those key strategies.
Yes.
Are you a reader?
Yes, a lot. I read a lot and consume books a lot as well.
So what top 3 business books, podcasts, blogs, biographies would you recommend?
Yeah, sure. And I need to read, right? To open a business, I need to learn things. So let me open here my Kinder. Like the classicals 0 to 1. I do recommend to everyone who is trying to open a business, read 0 to 1. The other one is the hard things about hard things.
Mm-hmm. And Horowitz.
And I don't know if you know that the goal from the Goodreads.
Yeah.
The goal
that's one of the classics on operation.
Is the classics because that explains the theory of constraints and the Q theory, and we can spend hours talking about that. I think these are the three big ones that I do recommend.
Great, thank you. So, any last piece of advice or parting words for the audience?
No. I think it's important to share the pain as well, share the learnings, share the good news as well, but also the bad news. And the pressure is very, very high when you are the CEO and the executive of a business. Everyone depends upon you. It's good. It's good to be here and share that how I did, and maybe that can inspire people as well. And I'm looking forward to hear more as well from all the owners.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing as well. I think we've got 4 of these books this week, so we're going to start rolling these out, and there's some great learnings in there. So listen, thank you so much. As I said, we'll share your contact details as well, so that if anybody has the need, here's our AWS and all things other expert. Helder, thank you so much.
Thank you.